Besides, we spoke with the Adepti. They want to protect Leo.
When you say protect, you're referring to their sanctimonious arrogance, aren't you?
Huh?
You are mortals, and thus under their protection. There is no way they would have regarded you as someone with the ability to assassinate a god. Naturally, they would also regard Ningguang's locking down the area, questioning the citizenry, and pursuit of the assassin to be pointless work. Perhaps they even wonder if they're— I'll say it like it is. They're underestimating us.
Well, you've got a point there. Still, this is the first time Paimon's seen a person from Liyue who doesn't respect the gods or the Adepti.
Should I respect the shallow sense of time and condescension to mortals that has caused them to delay in moving against us, Qixing? Forget it. I shouldn't speak of them this way. This skepticism is mine alone, and Ningguang does not share it. Either way, I will admit that the actions of the Adepti this time were quite restrained. Rex Lapis's death is indeed an extraordinary circumstance. But to think that they would call for a council of Adepti rather than come down here directly. How surprisingly civilized of them. Well, for Ningguang, she would talk anything and everything out if she could. But I doubt we can do that here. The time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue?
Another super bold statement.
I'll stop here. Honestly, I hadn't intended to say so much. But you're a good listener, Traveler. You should both be off to the Jade Chamber. Don't be late now. Ningguang's schedule is packed to the gills all the way till next year. The cream of Liyue's mercantile crop all see ascending to the Jade Chamber as the greatest honor. Each brings rich gifts as they visit, all to curry a little favor with Ningguang.
Favor? But, wait! That's right! Greeting gifts are a staple of Liyue's culture. We need to get one. Not to curry favor or anything.
All right. You can decide on your greeting gift yourselves. Let me tell you how to get to the Jade Chamber first. You didn't actually have to come to Mount Tianheng. Go back to Liyue Harbor. Find a guide at the Yuehai Pavilion. Well then, may we meet again, Traveler.
Well, that Yuheng may not respect the gods, but Paimon thinks she's a pretty cool person. So, what should we give to Ningguang when we see her? Oh, right! Paimon dreamed of an amazing snack last night! Sugar-frosted slime! Paimon has a feeling that it would be perfect for us. Why don't we go with that for a gift? With a certain boom shackle, let's go gather ingredients. Time waits for no one. That's the one! Ready, steady, go! Huh? Is it just Paimon? Or is there a sweet fragrance in the air? Huh? Did you hear that? It seemed like it came from those ruins over there. Uh-oh. It looks like the treasure hoarders have locked someone inside. Shadow Raven, let night fall!
You're open! Thank you for your help, kind travelers. If you hadn't come to my aid, I surely would have rotted in this cell. Those treasure hoarders, when their mood was good, they'd rearrange those pots of sweet flowers. When they were in a bad mood, they'd rearrange my face.
Aw, it was nothing. No need to thank us all at once or anything.
I understand. Don't worry, don't say that. I only escaped this predicament because of you. I'm Meng Dan, a supplier for Mingxing Jewelry in Liyue Harbor. I often walk around these mountains in search of antiques. I never expected that those treasure hoarders would have their eyes on the same ruins that I had. Before I knew it, they'd caught and imprisoned me. Is there anything that you lack? Antiques, treasure, various knickknacks, you name it. Well, as long as you want what I have to offer, of course.
Wait a moment. Actually, we are looking for something.
Oh? And what might that be?
Do you have a box that can store presents? We'd like a pretty one. The kind that you can use to store snacks.
Of course we do. How can one sell antiques without gift boxes? At Mingxing Jewelry, we have the best gift wrapping service in the 7 nations. Now just give me a moment and I'll let the boss know. You can go see her whenever you require that box.
Great! Paimon's sugar frosted slime now comes in a beautiful package. La la la. Da da da. Hey there! A guy called
Uncle Meng already told me about it. Thank you both for saving him. Many of the best goods in our store were found by Uncle Meng. If anything were to happen to him, it would be impossible for us to continue doing business. Here, this container is itself an antique, with at least 140 years of history. It's already been cleaned. Will it do?
Yep. It's great! Hang on a moment.
Sure. Please help yourselves.
Traveler, this clay pot looks really awesome. If we use an antique as our mixing bowl, we should be... It's done! The one and only sugar-frosted slime! Carefully now. Into the...
Oh, yes. You might want to use these 2 freshly picked flowers as decorations, too.
Woohoo! It looks beautiful! that we've got into this box, let's go to the Jade Chamber to see Ningguang. Da-da-da. Da-da-da. Woo! La la la. Woo! Woo! Nyah. According to Kuch, excuse me, do you sell the moon here?
Yes. How many would you like?
It's not convenient to speak of numbers here.
Ah, well said. Please, use this to ascend to the chamber. Yes, speaking of which, are you two the guests that Lady Ningguang has arranged to meet with today?
Yep.
And yet the code they used was not the one for guests, but for the Yuheng. What's going on here?
I've been waiting for you, returnee from Joyun Karst.
It's Ningguang. Since this is our first meeting, we've prepared a gift. I hope you like it.
Oh, for me. You have my thanks. It seems that I have made things difficult for you, considering that you were supposed to be my guests.
Oh no, it's nothing.
I'm glad you like it too. This palace floats in the skies, higher than the peak of any mountain. From this vantage point, one may survey all of Liyue. I have been gathering the funds necessary to build it from the time I began learning the merchant's craft. And since becoming the Tianquan, I have spared no effort in hiring the best craftsmen to constantly extend it. At first, it was but the size of one room. Now, it is large enough to blot out the moon in the skies above Liyue. One day, I believe it will overshadow all 7 nations. Not many from outside Liyue earn the right to ascend to the Jade Chamber. But I have been in correspondence with the acting Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius, who spoke highly of you. As such, I have been putting eyes and ears out ever since.
What?
And I finally got wind of your movements when you were on the way to Wangshu Inn.
Wait, was Vergoldet one of your people?
Just Vergoldet? No. Everyone at Wangshu Inn is one of ours. At the Guizhang Ballista, yes?
You weren't peeking on us from the skies the whole time, were you?
I fear that peeking would have been a little difficult from this altitude. Our eyes and ears are more than sufficient. You two are very interesting people, after all. It would be natural to take an interest. Well, I wouldn't expect you to trust us, considering that you have had far more interactions with the Adepti. The reason I invited you here was to clear up some misunderstandings.
palms, so heavy.
I believe that you've heard of the Archon War. Many gods used to walk this earth, and many long wars were fought between them that did not abate, and in the end, only 7 victors remained standing in Tevat. They built cities and nations on the corpses of the vanquished, and thus began the era of the 7. You can see Goyun Stone Forest from here, I trust. It is no natural rock formation. Those are giant spears of rock hurled by Rex Lapis during the war. Beneath the spears lie those cast down by Rex Lapis in those days, gods that failed to seize the title of Archon. Not only is it true that gods may die, but so too has the membership of the 7 changed over the last 2 millennia. Rex Lapis's passing is an unimaginable disaster for Liyue. But the Order of the 7 will not collapse simply because of that. Another Lord of Geo will arise sooner or later. Yet, how are we to forget Rex Lapis? When that time comes, the relationship between the people of Liyue and the gods and Adepti will surely be different from before. Even in a new era, the Liyue Qixing remain Rex Lapis's former subjects. Do you really think us capable of having played a part in his demise? Of lacking the foresight to see the certain repercussions? That day at Yujing Terrace, it was also very sudden. Even I was caught completely off guard. You were there, but our enemy has long lain hidden within the harbor. If we do not act against them now, hiding the Exuvia was a necessary maneuver to take the initiative back, to play the spider while our foes scurry about.
Who's this enemy you're talking about?
What do you think, Traveler?
Huh? What?
Well answered.
Huh?
The scenery out here is fine indeed, but the wind is a little strong. Our preparations to receive guests within are complete, so please, this way.
Wowee! What a huge hall! Paimon's never seen such a fancy place before.
Be at ease, you two. Make yourself...
Can we really?
I have invited you two here as friends. And when friends come over to play, our enjoyment comes first.
Ooh! Isn't this that legendary wall?
Why, you've kept your ear to the ground, I see.
That's because even the storytellers are talking about it. Everyone's after a piece of paper.
That's because that wall records Leo's secrets. Merchants have always been attracted to secrets. But the secrets of the mercantile world are of no interest to you, are they, Traveler? You're rather special, really, and I think you're quite aware of that. If possible, I'd like to have your trust. But if you were to choose the more trustworthy person between myself and Kuching... You'd pick Kuching? I originally thought her a bit too hard-headed. With someone of her character on the Qixing, I've had some extra messes to clean up behind the scenes. But after she said those words, the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue? Well, I must say that quite a few of my doubts have been dispelled. I won't deny that Rex Lapis's passing seems advantageous to us. But for Liyue's sake, we cannot allow ourselves to be shackled by rumors of our usurpation of power. Indeed. It seems that you understood what I meant to say from the very beginning. I called for the gag order and for the Exuvia to be hidden to With Rex Lapis's death, the Fatui have busied themselves with many clandestine actions beyond their diplomatic remit. As the Tianquan, one responsible for Liyue, I cannot be too concerned with appearances when opposing them. Allowing the rite of parting to take place was also meant to buy some time for us to take control of Liyue's administration.
It's exactly as Zhongli said. The Qixing only provided the venue for their rite so they could use us for their own ends. Wait, that's right. Speaking of ends, could I say one other thing?
Of course.
Paimon's heard that anyone who sends a greeting gift gets a little something in return. So, does that include us?
It's all right. I like direct people. Well, we have made quite a bit of trouble for you recently. How about this? You can pick any one object here as you please, and you may take it with you.
Yay! Paimon was just waiting for you to say that. Let's see, what should we get? One of the sheets on that wall. Don't look at Paimon like that. One of these sheets of paper will sell for crazy prices, even if it's only as large as Paimon's fingernail. Just imagine how much more a whole untorn sheet would sell for. Let's grab one, the biggest one. Huh? Well, that was an easy search. The biggest sheet is right up there in the most obvious spot. La 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 la. Let's see what's written on it. Huh? There's a place marked with a circle on here. Oh, could it be treasure? Whatever it is, it better make us filthy rich. Let's see what's written over here. Sigil of permission, something, something, Fatui, research, copy. Huh? Aw, that doesn't sound like treasure at all. This piece of paper shows that a Qixing spy discovered traces of classified Fatui research on the Sigil of Permission. Oh, Ningguang did say that the Fatui have been up to all kinds of mischief in the shadows of Liyue. Spreading rumors, wanting to get their hands on the Archon's body and whatnot. But research on the Sigil of Permission? Paimon wonders what they're up to. Speaking of which, there's also some connection between you and the Sigil of Permission. Seems there's still more for us to find out. Oh, you really think so? Well, should we not go then? Oh, so you're saying that it's precisely because we can't completely trust Ningguang that we should confirm the truth of what she's... That's way out of Paimon's league. Paimon thinks she's been nothing but good to us. Anyway, we'll see if you're onto something. Before we look for Zhongli at Dihua Marsh, let's go to the place marked out on these papers and see if the Fatui really are up to no good there.
Don't disappoint. So, you don't have to confirm it with me. Afterwards, why not sit down for a while in the Jade Chamber? Or have a short stroll? Rest is also an integral part of any journey. Come now. There's no need to stand on ceremony. Loosen up a little.
Sorry. Anything business related is confidential.
I'll take care of it.
This isn't good.
Finished.
There are so many talismans here. And some stacks of blank paper, too. Paimon's seen this pattern before. Oh, Paimon knows. But how did a relic of the Adepti end up in the hands of someone like Child? Suspicious. Oh, that's right. Cloud Retainer said that when the Lord of Geo created the Sigil of Permission, it wasn't to be used as some old relic. Talismans like that were once used in the Archon War to channel divine powers. Maybe the Fatui are copying the Sigil of Permission in hopes of achieving a similar effect. Being able to channel divine power in battle? Whew, that sounds pretty dangerous. And the plot thickens. We'll need to keep an eye on Child, that's for sure. Alright, that's enough sticking around here. We gotta go meet up with Zhang Li soon. The last stop on our rite of parting preparations tour is Dihua Marsh. Let's go! Paimon hates being late.
Go, Barbara, go!
Right on time. Did you enjoy your visit to...
It was so big and pretty and expensive. Paimon's never seen such a...
Indeed. It's second to none in all of Liyue. Then you met with Ningguang, I trust? What did you talk about with her?
She's super rich and so generous. Paimon thinks she's very friendly. Yeah, her take on Ningguang is quite different from Paimon's. She thinks that even the tactless Yuheng is more trustworthy than her.
Oh, so you also met with Keqing then? What did she have to say?
She said the time of the Adepti has long passed. If even the Liyue Qixing don't want to face that truth, then what future is there for Liyue?
No respect for the divine. Indeed, contrary to the ever-bold Keqing, Ningguang is more of a businesswoman at heart. Though they are both members of the Qixing, although she's friendly, there's no way of clearly discerning her true intentions. Yes, She has only relied on herself to rise to her current position. No, it's said that she's the one behind the constant expansion of the Jade Chamber. It's the second most important thing to her. Even if she ever gave up the position of Tianquan, she would never give up the Jade Chamber.
The Jade Chamber is only second. What's...
Why, Mora, of course.
All Ningguang talked about was the Fatui this and the Fatui that. She said that after Rex Lapis was murdered, the Fatui have constantly been trying to sink their fingers into Liyue, and that they aren't to be trusted.
That is how the Fatui have always been. It doesn't surprise me in the least. No matter what they may be planning, you must be careful when dealing with the Fatui.
So, is there anything we need to get for the rite of parting in Dihua Marsh?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there is. Today, we'll be gathering wild...
Glaze lilies? Well, why did we come all the way out here? Doesn't the garden in... Oh, right! Paimon remembers that Madame Ping is always tending to
No. Those lilies have all been gardened by people. Dihua Marsh used to be full of glaze lilies. It is a sort of joyful flower. Before the Archon War, Dihua Marsh was all dry land and fertile soil. But the war caused landslides, and the land was flooded, turning it into the marsh you see now. Of course, there are some kinds of flowers that have been preserved and gardened by people in the city. But wild glaze lilies have the strongest fragrance. If we want to follow the true tradition of the rite of parting, we must grind... But I'll need your assistance in gathering these flowers. No, I need you to sing to them.
So how good is your singing? Really? What?
We'll only know once...
Let's dance! Go, Barbara, go! It's time to sing, whenever you're ready. Da 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 da. What happened? These flowers are jumping. They look really angry. Is it because you sang a song on set that they don't understand here in Liyue? Let's dance! Come on, we can do it! Those weren't glaze lilies. Glaze lilies wouldn't hit people.
This little monster is known as a whopper flower. Strange. These petals look interesting. The glaze lilies used as a disguise were buried with the whopper flower for too long. The result seems to have surprisingly potent...
Well, that's nice and all, but...
Unfortunately...
That's so late.
Excuse me. Are you searching for glaze lilies?
Oh, hey! It's... What's-her-face?
Hello, traveler. I'm surprised you still remember my name. Ah, that reminds me.
Well, it sure would have been better if you told us how to get up there.
Didn't I tell you the way? Sure.
Nope. We found the way on our own.
Oh, I see. Uh-oh. I guess I really did forget to tell them.
Huh. Something seems a little off about Ganyu. She's acting different from the first...
Ah, well, I met you at that time as an emissary of the Tianquan. But
You came all the way out here to see the flowers?
Yujing Terrace is where Rex Lapis parted from this world. If I strolled through those lonely gardens now, I wouldn't be able to bear it. Whenever my duties take me near Yujing Terrace these days, I draw the windows to block my view of the gardens.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's quite all right. I just haven't processed my emotions yet. When the Archon War came to its end 2,000 years ago, the first iteration of the Seven would gather in Liyue and drink with Rex Lapis. But 5 of those original 7 had already passed before Rex Lapis. It's truly a changing of the guard. Yes. Now that the spirit of Rex Lapis has returned to the heavens, only Barbados of Mondstadt remains of the first 7. The other 5, including Inazuma's Raiden Shogun, are no longer the same friends from 2,000 years ago. Of the current 7 Archons, the youngest is Sumeru's god of Dendro. He is merely 500 years old, whereas Rex Lapis was more than 6,000 years old at the time of his passing. This means that Liyue had been under Rex Lapis's rule from the moment it was first founded 3,700 years ago.
So what do you think of this farewell?
Huh? This is a little sudden. As a mortal, I've never dared to imagine a Liyue without Rex Lapis. But as an Adeptus, I think I will eventually come to grips with reality. Since Rex Lapis has passed, the time of Liyue's contract with the gods and Adepti has now reached its end.
Huh? Did you just say...
Yes, I am a mix of human and Chilean. Adeptus blood flows through my veins. I fought for Rex Lapis and the city of Liyue during the Archon War. After the war ended, I signed a contract with Rex Lapis and took the position as secretary for the Qixing. I've continued those duties to this very day. Well, let's save that conversation for another day. You say that I also know where wild glaze lilies can be found.
We did.
Oh, so did you sing a song?
Indeed, I did. I know this tradition well. In fact...
Wow, so you really know your...
No, it is you who I should be thanking. If not for this chance meeting, I never thought that I would be able to contribute to the upcoming... If you would excuse me, I should return to my work now. Good luck.
And that just about does it. Given the ease of picking glaze lilies, I think this was a fitting end to our...
Yeah, Paimon can already imagine him starting a business and...
I've had enough ventures in my life already. Beginning a new undertaking is always difficult at first, and requires no small amount of effort. And once business is at full, so you must be careful to take the time to step back and re-examine yourself. If left unchecked, the wear and tear on your heart may go well past mending.
Wow. See? Jean? Alright, I think it's about... What happened? The city gate is swarming with Lilith and... the Fatui?
Ah, you're the consultant to Wengsheng Funeral Parlor. Mr. Zhongli, I presume. The Millilith are watching our every move now. These are desperate times. We mustn't...
Desperate times?
The Adepti of Joyun Karst are finally on the move.
Do they intend to exercise force?
Most likely. I've heard that some members of the Qixing have already gone to meet them. Well, I say meet. However, both sides were quite obstinate and hit an impasse.
It seems inevitable, given the current situation.
The Adepti do not acknowledge the Qixing. They only acknowledge the contracts of the Geo Archon. If the two sides come to blows, Liyue Harbor will be in no position to stop them.
Surely the Liyue Qixing are not the sort to give in so easily.
Their boneheadedness is known throughout the lands. Yet it's because of that obstinacy that mortals and Adepti are now on the verge of conflict.
And what now? How is it that the Fatui have come under fire?
That's all Ningguang's doing. She proclaimed that in these tumultuous times, the Millelith must rein in the actions of the Fatui. Only now do they want to start keeping tabs on us? That's the Qixing for you. Anyway, Mr. Zhongli, you're one of Child's close associates. Please understand that your actions will reflect on us.
It looks like things are about to boil over in Liyue Harbor.
Do you intend to use your neutral identity as an intermediary between both sides? Or neither path is an...
Oh, by the way, Mr. Zhongli, we've heard that the Wangsheng funeral parlor has also been caught up in all of this. They're currently squaring off with the authorities at the gates.
Things are taking a turn for the worse. I'm afraid I must leave now to handle things back at Wangsheng funeral parlor. I hope that Master Hu is... Consider your next course of action carefully, traveler. If you're trying to prevent an explosion, it may be wisest to look for the fuse first.
Having connections with the Fatui seems to be quite the double-edged sword. So what does Zhongli mean by looking for the fuse? Oh, Paimon gets it. If there's anyone that wants to see the whole city turned upside down, it's definitely... He must be waiting for the moment when no one is watching to do... But where could we find him now? Where would he go at a time like this? Woo! La la la. Da da da. Nyah. Da da da. Woo! Da da da. Da da da.
I created another universe and founded paradise. For I, Fischl, am the Prinzessin der Verirrt... Rejoice, else tremble in fear. Whenceforth springs this call to mirth and misery, you ask? Let it be known that I, the Prinzessin der Verirrtelung, sovereign of the Immernachtreich, have peered forth with my leftmost eye into the tapestry of fate that doth make up the universe.
This little marble is supposed to be a present from Barbados to say, well done? Well done for what, though? He is the god of freedom, I guess. Maybe that's why he likes me. All right. From now on, I'll say thank you to Barbados by showing that I have the freedom to blow up as many fish as I want. Am I doing it right? golden house? It looked impressive enough from the outside, but who would have guessed that it was even fancier on the inside? And so full of Mora. This is where all of Teyvat's Mora is minted, right? In that case, maybe they won't notice if a few Mora go missing. Oh, so it's a trap! Tricky, tricky. Good thing Paimon's got you here. But even if we can't take any, we can still have a closer look, right? Or better yet, take a nap on top of a mountain of Mora. It's like a dream come true. Oh, right. But it's quiet. Huh? Look! What happened here? Uh-oh. Paimon smells trouble. Quick! We have to go make sure that the Exuvia is all right.
You've already fulfilled your task as guides, so why do you still linger here? Haven't you—
Huh? Who's there?
If you were Fatui, I imagine that you would be entitled to a generous reward from the Tsaritsa herself. But now, you're nothing but dross, and you're in my way. Although I'm deeply grateful to you that I was able to effortlessly find this secret location, don't you think that trying to stop me now would just be wasted effort? Stopping the Mora Mints, hiding away the Exuvia. The Chising are really pulling out all the stops this time.
So you've been planning to take the Gnosis from inside the Exuvia all along?
As one of the 11 Fatui Harbingers, it's my duty to see the will of the Tsaritsa fulfilled. She will get that which she desires. I'm not asking for your blessing, and there's nothing you can do to stop me any— The time for discussion and diplomacy has already passed. I mean, if it were up to me, I would have skipped that stage to begin with. Either way, we now come to my favorite part. A simple pleasure, and one that I am oh so delighted to be sharing with you. The battle.
Battle? So you're the type that goes looking for
You could say that. When Signora offended the deities outside the cathedral in Mondstadt, she swiftly left the scene once her mission was accomplished. Instead of confronting you directly, she chose to rely on the snow and ice to make her escape. She wouldn't want the knights to come running towards the sound of battle now, would she? When she faces a worthy opponent, she will prioritize her mission, weigh the outcomes, and consider the consequences of her actions. But as for me, the greatest pleasure of being a Harbinger lies in crossing blades with strong opponents.
We won't let what happened in Mondstadt ever happen again!
Oh, so you intend to fight me? Good. I won't kill you, Traveler. I'll just play along, to feel the thrill of battle. Besides, you could never defeat me, not even in your wildest dreams. But hey, try to relish the fight anyway, because if you ask me, without that, what else is there? Fighting talk, I love it! Now let's see you live up to it. This chance is hard to come by, so show me all you've got. So very few ever get the chance to square off with the Fatui Harbinger. So come now, amuse me, and don't you dare disappoint. Are you all ready?
I wanna go home now.
How unbecoming. You've made some progress. Guess I should take you more seriously. Good. No wonder Signora was so wary of you. Well, that just means I can go all out. Brace yourself. This is about to get tough. Now, show me what you can do against the might of a Harbinger. got some skills. All you do is run. Not bad. Your swordsmanship is quite impressive. But that's about as far as you'll get. Didn't think you had that card hidden up your sleeve.
You were just playing us to get close to the Exuvia!
Oh, quiet down. Stop acting like some wide-eyed recruit. You've seen this world. You of all people should know. This should have been expected! Well then, I'll be taking Morax's Gnosis now! I see. Well, this is most unexpected. You beat me to it, didn't you?
This is going to cost you! You got to the Gnosis ahead of me, didn't you? Did you simply move faster? Or did you leak the information regarding the gold medals to me on purpose? No matter. Hand the Gnosis over now. Don't make me take it from you.
We didn't take it! Yay, I did it! Oh, wait. No, I didn't.
Wings of darkness, come, sever night from day.
This realm is no home for a princess. Yeah! Ready, steady, go! La la la. Yay, I did it! Oh wait, no I didn't.
You went.
Look! Child's back to normal again!
Well then, time to cool off. It seems the burden of the foul legacy transformation was too great for my body. I lacked the opportunity to think this, and now that I consider the matter more carefully, you never had any chance of beating me to the Gnosis. You had no connection to the Gnosis, no matter where it had been taken.
That's what we've been trying to tell you! We didn't take it!
Your show of ability today far surpasses that of Signora's initial assessment of you in Mondstadt. Tell me, how could that be? You already know the answer, don't you? But if that is a secret you wish to keep, I guess I'll just have to curb my curiosity. This battle has already left me satisfied. Anyone who strives as I do to grow stronger shall be called a friend. even if our friendship can only be shown in battle against one another.
Pretty sure that's not the normal way to make friends.
Unfortunately, I must bring this amiable conversation to an end. My quest still beckons. Given that the Gnosis wasn't taken by anyone, then we must look once again to the beginning. Perhaps it was never in the Exuvia to begin with. In fact, it might be that the Exuvia was just a
What? So you mean that...
Yes, it appears so. It seems that the guardian deity of the capital of commerce is also well versed in little maneuvers beyond the boundaries of contracts. As such, we must now look to our backup plan.
Backup plan?
I had hoped it would never come to this. The truth is, the world belongs to those of us who desire to become strong. I seldom willingly mingle with any dull and boring weaklings who think otherwise. Unfortunately, we cannot be picky about our methods as Fatui Harbingers. Children must all learn to eat their vegetables sometime.
So what are you planning to do?
I will awaken the god that lies dormant beneath Guyon's stone forest.
A god?
Osial, overlord of the Vortex, who was defeated by Morax, the Geor Archon in the Archon War, and who has remained pinned beneath. If such an ancient god were to be unleashed upon Liyue Harbor, defenseless without the protection of its deity, do you think the cunning Rex Lapis would just stand aloof and watch the ensuing destruction?
But the Archon War ended 2,000 years ago. How can an ancient god appear in a world?
Simple. I've already prepared the means to awaken it.
Hey, those are sigils of permission. Oh, Paimon remembers now. The Fatui have been researching them.
Indeed. The one that was given to you was just a byproduct of our research. With the power of so many sigils of permission concentrated in one place, along with that which was bestowed upon me as a harbinger by our Tsaritsa, breaking the subduing might of the Geo-Archon spears for a time should be no obstacle. Using the powers of ancient gods in such a situation fails to interest me, and is largely against my principles. But knowing that such an action will not only force the Geo-Archon to show its hand, but you as well, that... Let's see. Will the nation that has lost its deity be swallowed up by an ancient malice once more? If you wish to drown together with the people of Liyue, you're free to stay and enjoy the show.
Huh? He's already gone. That guy is fast. What's going on? Exhausted. If we hadn't happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Did we make it in time? Is the...
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Paimon thought you were arguing with the Qixing. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite against this common enemy.
Oh, Paimon gets it. So how do you plan to defend Just seeing this overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Paimon's tummy. Even from all the way out here.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle, which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary. So will the power of the Chising, Millelith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is...
What? But all of you were supposed to be the guardians of Liyue!
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own hands is here. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of war beyond your wildest thoughts.
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now. Yep.
The Fatui! They're attacking the Guizhong Ballista!
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millelith, with me!
Let's go up too!
The Adepti have not faced a god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you, one wishes to witness.
Dumpy dumpy go!
You can't run! Looks like
That is Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
How dare you. Snatch Knives diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
Dumpy dumpy go!
not breaking a sweat!
The ancient god's attacking again! There are so many Fatui too!
Were you about to say we can't hold them already?
Huh?
Don't Take this!
Depthal air! That light from your body, it's like the time in Julian Cars! Wow, it's Madame Ping's shockwave! This granny's really strong!
Looks like I went too far. My work. Finished. Stay right there.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil. Cast your fear of injury by the wayside, and fight with all your might. I too did this during the Archon War.
So this is what Ganya's like in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to face them in battle.
La la la! My La la la!
Wait! Exercise caution! I fear that the god's power has reached its peak!
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
This is it.
Blink!
It's good. It isn't time. My duty.
Prepare to be thrown away! Woo! Woo! Da da da! Max! Wow! Da da da!
Killjoy. Looks like I went too far. This isn't good.
Boing, boing, boom!
The Fatui's numbers are thinning!
Fight on, comrades! Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future of Liyue Harbor would surely have been in great jeopardy.
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, but with continued it is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qis. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition, don't you agree?
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone, just as it was thousands of years before. This is truly no small feat. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited by the next generation. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I awoke.
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both, and that nothing good would come of it.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right, all right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millelith. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of the Adepti, our forces were not as badly battered as I feared we might be. Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti this day.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down? Didn't we just beat that big monster?
Weren't you frightened, dear? It was quite the predicament.
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millelith guards were there, and those powerful heroes with their visions were there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks, and thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor. Please, come visit us!
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be...
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is great, although their blood is weak. There is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place.
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
Seems like the Adepti have had a change of heart.
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, conqueror of demons. Yes, one understands what the conqueror of demons means. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond recognition. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Qixing will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. Oswald? Oh, right! It's nice that we've got peace and all, but our child wanted to unleash the god so he could lure... But we were able to handle the overlord of the vortex on... Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to get to the bottom of that Archon's death, too? Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhang Li's gone. Let's ask for him at Wangshan Funeral Parlor.
Is there anything I can do for you two? I'm afraid that Wangsheng Funeral Parlor isn't in the best state to receive guests.
We've come to see Zhang...
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't here at the moment.
Doesn't the Northland... Last time we saw Zhongli was... Do you think he doesn't know about the attack on Liyue? Visiting the Fatui at a time like this could... Oh, we had better go and make...
Yo, have a blast!
La la la, woo! Da da da! Da da da!
You call this cooperation between Harbingers? Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? Oh, it seems that some of your friends have arrived.
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child.
Right. I imagine that it...
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map. This is certainly a bit awkward, wouldn't you say?
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a Fatui Harbinger.
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had anything against you personally. Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together, didn't you? Except for that little tussle we had at the end. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very well hold this against me, but the real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually,
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through here. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you
The contract is fulfilled. That which thou seeketh is now bestowed unto thee. For my promise is solid as stone.
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of Chiao? No, wait. That's an exciting twist and all, but why give the Gnosis to the Fatui?
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony for you, and splat! This big dragon falls out of the sky, and...
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling behind the scenes, and then stirring them together in a pot that...
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best that I explain. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, together with the Adepti 3,700. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools will erode with the passing of time. I kept convincing myself that cracks had not begun to form, and that the end of my time had not yet come. Until one drizzly day, as I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers. I stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself,
Oh, Zhongli.
but as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not hastily depart. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? So I feigned my own death, and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue. That's right. Which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply appear and use your divine—
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. Why, you even deserved an encore. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. Not only did they manage to cooperate with the Qixing, but in the end, they even tried to understand the heart of the people. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ears of her colleague Child, just as I had requested. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. Thank you for walking that path with me, Traveler. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. They seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control. Huh? On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark.
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Be that as it may, you've come out of this as the hero of Liyue. I, on the other hand, will be forever prescribed as a disturber of the peace, no?
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zapoljarny Palace and seek an audience with Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa. Come, Child.
Fine. I'll meet you there later. I'm not sharing a boat with the likes of you.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good trade is a fair—
Realistically speaking.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scales, uncover that answer for your...
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
Well, since we're going through with this rite of parting, I guess it means that those...
So Rex Lapis is really...
Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal person? You know what I think? I don't think any of the goss... There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the assassin was that Fatui fellow. Youngish, pretty high in rank.
Fatui? They certainly...
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui catch you in their sights...
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000 years since Rex Lapis subdued it.
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the incident with Rex Lapis, too.
Say, do you think the person who assassinated our lord and released that evil god...
Now that you mention it, that's very... I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm... Still, what sort of supernatural...
Ah, forget it.
Hear ye all! Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to dust. This is common gods and adepti, rumors and hears having been thwarted in his nor are they to believe street-born rumors or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixings announced. So that's... Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Could the Qixing already have known that Rex... Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his... Exactly, right? Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something?
As said previously, Rex Lapis's soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot
the long, unending dream of our arc.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young.
The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have... Name your price.
Whoa.
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Right. Perhaps.
But it seems as if those perfumes really were meant to be off. Well, that's fine. Suffer no rivals in love, they say. And that's 3 gone in 1 stroke.
As for the more...
Zhongli, look at this. Everyone in Liyue, and here you are looking all...
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,000? Right, if the two of you can spare the time.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout, but you'd have to pay out your nose just to stand inside Xinyue kiosk. Are you sure?
You're right. I do like the Mora. As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to...
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we... But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently... Yes, the nation... the Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan, but if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment this is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the god.
That's how people...
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue.
They want to seize visions, but...
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings.
Whoa!
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate the fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away, will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
That's right. Zhongli, now that you don't have your nose since Morax is... Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Will it even...
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires...
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora!
Yes, this is indeed... well, I suppose we'll just leave...
Then, did you at least set some private...
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a good, logical, common sense...
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wished? Well then,